out of respect for our graduates and our great nation, to please remain standing in silence for the presentation of the colors by members of our Air Force Junior ROTC unit and for the playing of our national anthem. As is appropriate etiquette for the flag of our country, we will remain standing in silence until the color guard has recessed. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. Please be seated. Senior band members, you may return to your seats. Thank you to our amazing Crabber Band, the pride of the peninsula, under the direction of Mr. Ronzel Bell, and senior band member, Mr. Lester Richardson IV. And to our Air Force Junior ROTC unit and Senior Master Sergeant Clark for the presentation of the colors. On behalf of the faculty and administration, I would like to welcome all of you who have gathered this evening to celebrate the members of the class of 2021. I am Shameka Pollard, Executive Principal, and it is my honor to open these commencement proceedings. The student body seated before you is the graduating class of 2021 for the Hampton High School. These graduates, thank you. These graduates are now part of a historic tradition that is represented throughout our community and our country by our many alumni. At this time, would all alumni who celebrate the Hampton High School as your alma mater please stand to be recognized? Thank you for securing this tradition and legacy of excellence. It is my pleasure to introduce our platform guests and ask that they stand to be recognized. The Honorable Joe Kilgore, Hampton School Board Chair. The Honorable Dr. Reginald Woodhouse, Hampton School Board Vice Chair. The Honorable Jason Samuels, Hampton School Board. The Honorable Ann Cherry, Hampton School Board. The Honorable Dr. Richard Mason, Hampton School Board. The Honorable Stephanie Jackson Afanja, Hampton School Board. The Honorable Tina Banks Gray, Hampton School Board. The Honorable Mamie Locke, Senator, 2nd District. The Honorable Martha Mugler, Delegate, 91st District. The Honorable Jawan A. Ward, Delegate, 92nd District. The Honorable Donnie Tuck, City of Hampton, Mayor. The Honorable Jimmy Gray, City of Hampton, Vice Mayor. Dr. Jeffery Smith, Superintendent, Hampton City Schools. Dr. John Caggiano, Deputy Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. Excuse me, the Honorable Stephen Brown, City of Hampton. I apologize, Mr. Brown. And Mr. Paul Karnak, Student Representative, Hampton School Board, and a proud member of the Hampton High School Class of 2021. Mr. Enriquez Williams, Academy Principal, Freshman Academy. Katelyn Leone, Valedictorian. Abigail Ronsonet, Salutatorian. Maia Patterson, Senior Class President. Miss Katherine Fox, Academy Principal, Maritime Academy, and Academy of Technology and Engineering. Sharif Hicks, Academy Principal, International Baccalaureate Program. Kimberly Sharp, Academy Principal, Health, Human, and Financial Services Academy. Melvin Brown, Graduation Specialist. Thank you, Dr. Smith, members of the Division Leadership Team, members of the Hampton School Board, and Hampton City Council for your continued support and for being here this evening to share in this celebration. We would not be here today without the commitment, dedication, and passion of our teachers, school counselors, and staff. The success we celebrate today, the futures and opportunities you have made possible, this is your legacy. Students, please join me in thanking your teachers, your counselors, our security staff, and support staff. Faculty and staff, please stand to be recognized. Thank you for your tireless dedication. You may be seated. We would now like to recognize faculty members who have dedicated their lives to education and will be graduating with our seniors today. Would the following educators please stand? Mr. James Bresnan, Hampton High School science teacher. Miss Cynthia Duncan, Hampton High School Special Education Program Advisor. Miss Sandra Lady is not able to be with us this evening, Hampton High School Teacher Librarian, and Miss Norma Topping, Hampton High School Instructional Assistant. Thank you. You may be seated. We would like to acknowledge and thank two individuals who work long hours to ensure that our amazing seniors have enjoyed this challenging year. Ms. Ware, senior class sponsor, and Ms. Katrina Miller, graduation coordinator. Please stand. Now, we would like to recognize our community partners. Over the last 4 years, they have engaged our students by providing guest speakers, holding site visits, mentorships, hands-on instruction, and guided our teachers as they provided classroom instruction taught through the lens of each of our academies. These partners have shown our students the why behind their education and helped to prepare them for life beyond high school. Their enthusiasm and dedication to build a stronger community shines through as they have invested their time and resources in meeting our students where they are and showing them the path to a successful future. Advisory board members in attendance, please stand to be recognized, and thank you. Finally, we would like to thank our Academy coach, Ms. Christina Kirby, and Extended Learning Coordinator, Ms. Lynette Hextall, for the countless hours they've spent working to ensure the best possible experiences for our students and keeping the mission and goals of the Academies of Hampton at the forefront of everything we do. Please stand to be recognized. Thank you so much. You may be seated. Now, I would like to invite the Hampton City Schools School Board Chair, Mr. Joe Kilgore, to the podium for remarks.
Good evening, Hampton Crabbers. It is truly my honor to be here to share this special moment with you all. On behalf of the entire school board, I want to welcome and offer our sincerest congratulations to the graduating seniors of the Hampton High School class of 2021. I also want to welcome the family members, guardians, friends, teachers, staff, administration, and honored guests here with us this evening as well. Seniors, we are here to celebrate a significant milestone in your lives this evening and to also celebrate the beginning of the next chapter of your lives. We could not be more proud of each of you for reaching this milestone. Today marks the completion of 13 years of study for most of you. On behalf of the school board, I want to say to each senior, thank you. Thank you for your hard work, your dedication, perseverance, and most of all, your resilience. As you look back on the end of your junior year and your entire senior year, your ability to adapt, problem solve, overcome, and never give up will be the legacy that this class, the Hampton High School class of 2021, can say makes it stand out amongst other classes. Thank you for letting nothing stop you from getting here this evening. I also want to take a moment to thank 3 groups on behalf of the school board. First, to the teachers and staff of Hampton High School. Your incredible efforts and selfless dedication are truly immeasurable. Thank you. Second, to the family and friends of our graduating seniors here today. Your support was never more important than it was this school year. Thank you. And finally, to Dr. Jeffery Smith, our superintendent, the entire division leadership team, and the school division support staff. We have all been blessed to have your leadership and support during this unprecedented year of ever-changing challenges. Thank you. Seniors, as you follow your dreams, I look forward to seeing and hearing about the amazing things I'm sure you will do in the future. So once again, on behalf of the school board, congratulations, Hampton Crabbers, class of 2021. I wish you the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kilgore, for your leadership, your dedication to Hampton City Schools, and your continued support of the Hampton High School. At this time, we will hear remarks from our senior class president, Maia Patterson. Maia is an accomplished scholar and influential student leader. She has participated in the most rigorous courses and is an International Baccalaureate Diploma candidate. She is graduating with highest honors as a result of a 4.34 GPA, giving her the rank of 16th in the class of 2021. As an active member of the Hampton High School community, she has balanced her intensive academic program with extracurricular activities and leadership to include being a senior and junior youth planner for the city of Hampton. She has conducted countless volunteer hours with the Crabber Canned Food Drive, Eaton Middle School Tutoring Club, Bassett Kindergarten Class Talent Show, and IB Cast Tutoring. A born leader, Maia has served as president for her sophomore, junior, and senior classes, a member of the Student Council Association, Mu Alpha Theta Math Honor Society, Société Honoraire des Français, French Honor Society, Rho Kappa, History Honor Society, Science Honor Society, Political Analysis Club, Debate Team, and the Principals Advising and Consulting Team. In her tremendous free time, Maia served as captain of the junior varsity soccer team and was a member of the varsity cheer team and varsity swim team. Maia was accepted to 5 universities and has accepted a full academic scholarship to Howard University. She will major in government and minor in Hispanic studies. Please welcome to the podium your class president, Ms. Maia Patterson.
Good evening, parents, loved ones, family, faculty, and staff. My name is Maia Patterson, and I'm extremely privileged to be your senior class president for the class of 2021. When I first realized I'd be giving a speech in the middle of the Coliseum, I was extremely nervous. I was terrified to talk in front of all my peers. It reminded me how I felt as a freshman, nervous but at the same time extremely excited to what is to come. I still remember my first day at Hampton High School. An upperclassman came up to me and asked me if I knew where the elevator was to the swimming pool on the roof. This year was definitely not like High School Musical, but we survived. We were the first students to graduate from the academies, live through a worldwide health scare in the midst of a global pandemic, and endure a national tragedy which ultimately challenged humanity in the event following George Floyd's murder. The way I see it, the world has forever changed in a matter of months. I feel as if every terrible thing that could have possibly happened has jumped to 2020, and we're forced to live in it in our isolation and despair. Never in a million years did I think I'd be scared to hug my own grandmother. Through it all, these unforeseen events, we survived. We are resilient. Not only did we miss out on some of the most memorable experiences of our high school career, but we lost classmates, idols, family, and friends. We were forced to normalize the abnormal, involuntarily become the front lines to an unfamiliar frontier in a new way of living. Yet, we survived. Today, we sit amongst our peers and fellow classmates, anxiety-ridden, nervous, scared for the future. At the same time, extremely excited to what is to come and what could possibly become possible. As we leave Hampton High School and enter the world as young adults, our legacy and resilience remains. Our legacy of excellence will continue. We leave behind our teenage years and hardships of 2020 and maintain our determination to simply survive. We are the future. We have the ability to make change in this world. All of us sitting here are destined to change the world. It is no longer up to our parents to do it. It is our world now. As cliche as it may sound, we have to be the change we wish to see in the world, because if we aren't, who will be? Yes, we've lost a lot this year, but through it all, we learned how tough we really are. Not only did we survive in the face of everything, we thrived. It has not been easy, to say the least, but we did it. As a class, we are unstoppable. So take this experience, lessons, and the lessons you learned about determination and sacrifice and compromise to your futures. Each and every one of us is destined to do something great. If we can survive killer hornets, World War III, and a global pandemic, what can't we survive? Thank you.
Thank you, Maia, for your leadership and your words today. And thank you for reminding us that we are resilient and we can survive. Next, we will hear an address from our salutatorian, Ms. Abigail Ronsonet. I am honored to recognize Abigail Ronsonet, whose academic pursuits have earned her a 4.66 cumulative grade point average, and the honor as the salutatorian of the class of 2021. Abigail is also an International Baccalaureate Diploma candidate. She is a well-rounded young lady. Her teachers describe her as a model student who embodies what it means to be a Hampton High crabber. She is a fierce and powerful young lady, a natural-born leader. She has been described as a passionate, mature, resilient, and strong-born diplomat. She has earned multiple academic honors, including academic letters and membership in the National Honor Society, Rho Kappa Social Studies Honor Society, and Mu Alpha Theta Math Honor Society, and serves as a leader in the Tri-M Music Honor Society. In her free time, Abigail enjoys singing with the HHS Harmonics. She volunteers as a tutor in the community and founded and organized the CAS Tutoring Project. In addition to tutoring, Abigail also volunteers at the Salvation Army and works as head lifeguard at Paradise Ocean Club. Abigail was accepted to 5 colleges, and next year will bring new challenges and new opportunities as she attends the University of Virginia, where she plans to major in psychology and political science. She hopes to attend graduate school to either earn a law degree or a PhD in psychology. We would like to congratulate Ms. Abigail Ronsonet for earning recognition as salutatorian of the class of 2021. Our school board chairman, Mr. Kilgore, will now come forward to present Abigail with the salutatorian medal, after which Abigail will share the salutatory address.
Good evening, everyone. Before I start my speech, I would like to remember someone who made a huge impact on my life. Mr. Neely was the reason that I joined IB, and he was one of my largest supporters throughout my freshman year of high school. I don't think he ever got to experience how much of an influence he was on myself and many of my classmates. He was such a light for all of us, and we all miss him. We were his last class of IB students, and the impact he left on us will forever be in our hearts. We all miss you, Mr. Neely. There is no greater gift you can give or receive than to honor your calling. It's why you were born and how you become most truly alive. Oprah Winfrey. As many of you know, the pandemic we have lived through has has had a huge impact on our lives, and while that has been on the forefront of most of our minds throughout this year, I want to redirect our attention to the future. For many of us, our lives are just beginning, and we are moving forward into college, trade school, the workforce, the military, and much more. As I have grown, I have learned some of the most important things someone can have in their life, which are purpose, passion, creativity, determination, ambition, resilience, kindness, integrity, and your voice. There is not enough value placed on these essential aspects of our character and how they make you who you are. Like Oprah said, your greatest gift is to honor your calling. Your purpose is the one thing you should always strive for. I'm not talking about that A you want in that class or that degree that you want to get. Your purpose is what makes you you. It is what you dedicate your life to and what you will be remembered for. Purpose is what guides us in life, and it goes hand in hand with our passion. When you find your passion, your purpose will come. This may sound corny, but you have to follow your heart. You have to do what makes you happy and do what makes you want to get up in the morning. The day you realize why you were on this earth will be one of the happiest days of your life, because naturally, humans search for a purpose. Once you find yours, take it and run with it. Creativity gives you the uniqueness to create unlimited opportunities for yourself. You have to think outside of the box. In fact, get rid of the box. You don't even have to think about ideas as a box because you don't have to fit into one. The people that are the most successful are not the ones that always follow the rules, but the ones that color outside of the lines, act outside of the box, and step into new experiences that may scare them. Now, I know what most of you are thinking, that you're not creative or that you don't know how to think outside of the box, but you're wrong. Every single one of us looks at experiences differently and problem solves in a different way than the other. Continue to provide these unique opinions and problem-solving strategies because they are the key to success in not only your career, but also your life. In a lot of cases, your creativity will put you ahead, and it's what makes you stand out from the rest. This year has taught us all a lot about determination and motivation. Within lockdown, we were forced to find our internal motivation to pass our classes, continue to make an impact on our community, and to even get out of bed each morning. This year gave us one of the most important lessons that we will ever receive. Now that we are becoming adults, most of us will no longer have our parents to force us to get up for school, clean the dishes, or even go to work. It will be our responsibility to find our own motivation for success. My biggest piece of advice is to stay motivated. Let your passion push you to keep going and remember your ultimate goal. Your passion will push you to keep moving forward, and your goal will keep you focused. To very quickly touch on ambition, reach for the stars. Nothing is unattainable if you put your all into it. Whatever barriers or obstacles stand in your way are menial, and all it takes is your drive to break through them. Give yourself the credit you deserve and have big goals. Your ambition will come from your passion, and your passion will motivate you towards your ambitions. As I have lived through trauma in many aspects of the human experience, I have learned about the power of resilience and the ability to adapt. All of us come from different backgrounds and have been through things no human should ever have to face, but our resilience is extraordinary. Withstanding the pressure of society and the experiences you face will not only make you stronger, but also teach you how to rebuild. Don't let your experiences reduce you. Approach change with grace and courage, and remember that it's okay to feel emotions and to struggle. Just do not let your worth be reduced by those challenges. Two of the most repeated character traits we hear about are kindness and integrity. We are always reminded how important it is to act as though someone is always watching, and I cannot express how true that is, mostly because I've learned that someone is usually watching. Kindness will bring you so much in life. I'm not talking about accepting wrongful treatment, but living a life of kindness and treating others how you want to be treated. There are so many opportunities you could miss out on if you don't enter that door with a positive outlook on what could happen. The kindness you give others will be repaid in one way or another to you. We have to accept that others have differences and be open-minded to ideas contrary to our own, because that's the best way for us to learn. Your voice is powerful. Refuse to be silenced. Speak up about the issues that you are passionate about, and stand up not only for yourself, but for others. And remember that one voice may not be very loud, but many can move mountains. Our voices are our most powerful instruments to share our experiences. Your voice is your strength, and I'm sure I will hear much more from all of you in the future. Whether you are destined for future traditional academics or not, continue to learn and grow your wisdom. make the hard decisions, take the scenic route, enjoy life with all that it comes with, and continue to gain knowledge about the world around you. Even if it seems impossible, you can overcome any obstacle thrown in your path. I am standing in front of hundreds of my peers that have worked incredibly hard to get to this point and deserve to cherish every second of their high school graduation. People with completely different stories that have all met to join in our achievements. People of whom I and so many others are incredibly proud of, and people who are graduating as Hampton High School's class of 2021. We are one of the strongest and most resilient classes to walk the graduation stage, and for this, congratulations for your accomplishments. I wish you all the most bright future. Thank you.
Thank you, Abigail, for that message. Sometimes we all need a reminder to be kind. Congratulations and good luck next year at UVA. At this time, Mr. Sharif Hicks, Academy Principal, will recognize scholarship offerings and awards for the class of 2021.
At this time, we will recognize seniors who have received scholarships and awards. First, we would like to thank all donors for their generous investment in our students' futures. Your contributions exemplify your belief in our students as they pursue post-secondary learning opportunities. Guests, in the back of your program, there is an impressive listing of scholarships and awards earned by our seniors, as well as a list of colleges they will attend. Each scholarship and award represents an opportunity to grow the next generation of leaders who will give back and support future generations of college, career, and life-ready citizens. At this time, we ask that scholarships and award recipients please stand to be recognized. We are proud to announce that Hampton High School, the Hampton High School class of 2021 earned $9,189,449 in scholarships and awards. Congratulations. You may be seated.
Thank you, Mr. Hicks, and congratulations to all of our seniors who have earned scholarships and awards. Now, I have the distinct pleasure to recognize our next student, Ms. Katelyn Leone. As an International Baccalaureate Diploma candidate, Katelyn has an astounding cumulative grade point average of 4.72. Thus earning her the class rank of #1. In addition to holding an impressive resume and transcript, she holds the reputation of being driven, exceptionally intelligent, and laser-focused on her goals. She is a true and courageous intellectual with the highest level of curiosity, self-awareness, determination, and concern for our world. She has challenged herself to maintain straight A's throughout all 4 years of her high school career. Katelyn has earned multiple academic honors, including academic letters, as well as membership in the National Honor Society, Mu Alpha Theta Math National Honor Society, and Science National Honor Society. She participates in the Hampton Youth Commission and serves as a volunteer at the Virginia Living Museum. Katelyn was accepted to Virginia Tech, the College of William & Mary, and the University of Virginia. In the fall, she will be attending the University of Virginia, where she plans to major in neuroscience. It is with great pleasure that we now invite to the podium the Hampton High School Class of 2021 valedictorian, Ms. Katelyn Leone. We ask School Board Chairman Kilgore to come forward to present Katelyn with the valedictorian medal.
Good evening. I am honored to have the opportunity to stand before you today. However, I would like to begin by apologizing to Ms. Ware and Mr. Hicks. The first draft of my speech was due at the beginning of May. I did not submit it until last week. Nobody's perfect. I may have single-handedly aged each of them by 10 years. Again, I offer my sincerest apologies. The problem was not that I did not take the responsibility of crafting a speech to deliver to my peers and their families seriously. Rather, I feared I would not be able to live up to the expectations set by myself. Throughout the 4 years I have spent studying at Hampton High School, I can confidently say that I am well-read in a variety of subjects and would make an excellent tutor. However, the fear that this had not given me extraordinary insight or advice to offer those that are graduating tonight has loomed over my head for weeks. After all, I do not get the opportunity to deliver my thoughts to an audience of more than 3,000 people every day. The onset of the COVID-19 pandemic has brought unprecedented challenges to the members of our nationwide and worldwide communities. On a more local level, our senior year has certainly come with its own set of challenges and disappointments. Many of us lost out on the opportunity to participate in sports, prom, homecoming, and even sitting in class with our friends. Personally, my greatest challenge and disappointment this year has come in the form of accepting the fact that I was rejected from every single one of my top schools. On April 6th, I opened not one, not two, but 5 rejections. Without a doubt, this was the most heart-shattering and humbling moment of my entire life. I do not share this story, though, with the intention of garnering pity. In fact, when faced with disappointment, I find that everyone offers the phrase, "Everything happens for a reason." I may have heard it at least 5 or 10 million times, and I cannot be alone in stating that this somehow makes the situation feel even worse. Finding the silver lining in the face of your biggest dreams not coming true is extremely difficult. Mr. Hicks, Hampton High School's International Baccalaureate Academy principal, concurred and reminded me that we truly have very little control over the events that occur in our lives. Regardless of whether or not you believe that everything happens for a reason, you do have the power to choose how you respond to the disappointing and exciting moments that occur throughout your lifetime. Thus, I would like to remind my peers of the significance of our beliefs, passions, and power. I am confident that sitting next beside me in the audience is the future President of the United States, Paul Karnak. And I am proud that I will one day be able to say that I knew him long before he was famous. However, you do not have to be elected as the President of the United States in order to make a difference. Sitting before me today are the future teachers, doctors, politicians, artists, and leaders of our nation. There is a future teacher sitting before me that will impact students with their passion for education and the success and well-being of their students, much like Dr. Krause has done for me over the course of the last 2.5 years. And I am immensely grateful. Furthermore, there are doctors and politicians sitting before me that will work to reduce disparities and inequalities in healthcare that disproportionately impact marginalized communities. Most importantly, I am looking straight at the future electorate. In fact, many of us are already old enough to vote. We hold the power to create change at the local, state, and national levels with our voices and our votes. I encourage my fellow classmates to voice their opinions and their beliefs with passion and with courage. The Earth is approaching the point of irrevocable damage due to climate change, with big corporations, especially those involved in the extraction of fossil fuels, being the largest contributors. Although we cannot go back in time and change the destructive actions of those before us, we can choose to take action now. We have the power to hold large corporations accountable for the damage they are willing to produce with the sole purpose of accumulating wealth. We must elect politicians that reflect our beliefs and are willing to create change. We can be the politicians that create change. As we transition from high school to college and the workforce, we must continue the fight for racial equality. We must continue to fight for reproductive autonomy and to stand against rape culture. We must continue to address sexual violence and to help victims get the justice they so deserve. These issues cannot and will not be resolved overnight, but we have the power to take action. There is no time to be idle, and I have faith that my classmates and my community will have the courage and passion to create change, even in the face of great adversity. Let us save our planet, as it is the only one we have, and improve the welfare of its inhabitants for ourselves, our friends and families, and those that we have lost that we continue to hold in our hearts. I would like to thank my friends and family for supporting me and my growth as a student and as a citizen. I could not have done this without you guys. I would also like to thank the teachers and administrators at not only Hampton High School, but at Booker Elementary and Spratley Gifted Center for instilling in me curiosity, a desire to learn, and most importantly, the confidence and drive to create change. And finally, I would like to congratulate my peers on achieving this important milestone with the full confidence that this is just the beginning of what Hampton High School's class of 2021 has to offer their community and their world. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Katelyn, for the reminder to each and every one of us to fight for what we believe in. Congratulations and good luck next year at UVA. I would now like to ask Ms. Katherine Fox, Academy Principal, to present our Outstanding Senior Award.
The Hampton High School graduating class of 1958 started the Outstanding Senior Award, and it has been awarded each year since. The inscription on the base of the trophy reads, "To be awarded each year to the individual senior student who displays the qualities in all endeavors of school life." The senior class selects one of their own members to receive this award. Not necessarily the best athlete, the best student, or the most popular person in the class, but one who influences many areas of school life. This year's recipient is an Academy of Technology and Engineering student. He maintains an impressive 4.39 GPA in a highly rigorous courses. He's a member of the French National Honor Society. He is the historian of the Tri-M Music Honor Society. He's also the drum major for our elite marching band. He's the president of the Executive Leadership Program. He participates in community service projects, and he was named the Volunteer of the Year for the YMCA. He plans to attend Old Dominion University in the fall, described by his counselor as well-balanced, caring, open-minded, principled. This student embodies the spirit of a crabber and has exceeded the qualifications for this award. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to award this coveted distinction to Lester Jackson Richardson IV.
Congratulations, Lester. You are truly deserving of this honor. None of today would be possible without a bold leader who ensures a laser focus on quality education. We are led by a visionary whose leadership is transforming how we do business in Hampton City and Hampton City schools. That partnership is ensuring our graduates are college, career, and life ready. We are fortunate now to have Dr. Smith come to the podium to share remarks with the class of 2021.
Members of the class of 2021, as the superintendent of Hampton City Schools, it is my pleasure to be present with you, your family, friends, school board members, Mayor Tuck, members of the City Council, and elected officials of the Virginia General Assembly, as well as members of the division leadership team, to celebrate this pinnacle moment of your K-12 educational journey. Members of the graduating class of 2021 of Hampton High School, you are to be commended because your journey to this place of celebration was laced with challenges of a world pandemic. And although our personal lives and educational systems were turned upside down, with the support of so many, you pushed through. Let's give these young people a hand. This graduating ceremony is historical in that you are the first to graduate from the academies of Hampton. You have completed 4 years of study as a member of an academy. Additionally, there are 26 young people who have already graduated with an associate degree from Thomas Nelson Community College as members of the class of 2021, representing students throughout Hampton City Schools. As crabbers, I know that you will continue to create legacies of excellence. Remember that today is the first day of the rest of your lives. I encourage you to continue to reach new heights beyond this moment. Family members and guests, let me share with you some of the remarkable accomplishments of this class. As a class, their achievements are outstanding. These young people, as you have already heard, have been offered more than $9 million in scholarships and grant awards, bringing our Hampton City Schools total in terms of the class of 2021 to more than $41 million in scholarships and grant awards. Their future plans are impressive. Members of this class have certainly enlisted in the armed services. Their future plans also include Hampton University, Virginia Commonwealth University, Bryant and Stratton College, the College of William and Mary, Norfolk State University, Thomas Nelson Community College, Concord University, Virginia Tech, go Hokies, North Carolina Central University, Old Dominion University, the University of Virginia, Virginia State University, James Madison University, Howard University, Utah University, Longwood University, Averett University, and the University of Miami, just to name a few. Family members and friends, please join me in giving these young people, the class of 2021, a round of applause. I know that Your future will be filled with that of great purpose and fulfillment. And if by chance life serves you just a few lemons, then get a business license, open up a stand, and make the best lemonade this world has ever tasted. And now, in what has become my annual graduation tradition, the relevant question that I place before you today as members of the class of 2021 is this, Crabbers. Are you ready to go forth and make your mark of distinction? Best wishes to each of you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Thank you, Dr. Smith, and thanks again to our honored guests who have joined us this afternoon. This graduating class of 2021 is the 125th class to participate in the graduation ceremonies of the Hampton High School. Each year, as students enter the Hampton High School, and throughout the school year, we strive to set in their minds that they are part of a legacy of excellence. They are part of a tradition of pride and honor that is instilled in the Crabber spirit through the many years that the Hampton High School has been a symbol of education and future leadership for our city and our country. With that, we ask that you limit your celebrations as names are called to ensure that each graduate's name is heard. And then, when all names are called, as always, we will make a noise that can be heard all the way back to 1491 West Queen Street, because another class has graduated from the Hampton High School. Dr. Smith, School Board Chair, Mr. Kilgore, Ms. Pollard, and distinguished platform guests. By the power vested in the Hampton High School by the Virginia State Board of Education and the Hampton City School Board, it is indeed our honor and our privilege to present these graduates, the graduating class of 2021 at the Hampton High School, for the awarding of diplomas. Ready? Let's go.
From the Gifted Enrichment Seminar, Danielle Jean Alston, highest honors. Kayla Joy Alston, highest honors. Jordan Elena Hardy, highest honors. From the Academy of Health, Human, and Financial Services, Jada Marie Anderson, highest honors. Keziah Banks, highest honors. Ariana Neve Bellinger, highest honors. Cameron Jeremiah Brown, highest honors. Tier Janae Brown, highest honors. Adasia Asia Carter Brown, highest honors. Corey Jalen Colbert, highest honors. Javiana Maria Corsino, highest honors. Jalea Kimiana Glasper, highest honors. Angel Hicks, highest honors. Melody Muley Kovada, highest honors. Shayla Christina King, highest honors. Brianna Monet Langford, highest honors. Camille Promise Marie Lewis, highest honors. Braden Scott McBride, highest honors. Aaliyah Monet Minga, highest honors. Kiana Deasia Monroe, highest honors. Denasia Timani Nolan, highest honors. Michelle Perrault, highest honors. Jada Nicole Price, highest honors. Jasmine Jakaya Roseboro, highest honors. John Munir Saad, highest honors. Alana St. Aubin Samuels, highest honors. Alana's diploma is being presented by her father, the Honorable Jason Samuels. Sydney Elaine Smith, highest honors. Portia Stokes, highest honors. Azure Alexis Stoves, highest honors. Sanaya Simone Taylor, highest honors. Deanna Latrice Tolliver, highest honors. Nia Imani Williams, highest honors. Corinne Azaria Wisham, highest honors. Sierra Anise Young, highest honors. Amir Dejour Montrese Augustus, highest honors. Kyla Christina Brown, honors. Dyrell Lamar Bryant, honors. Kanaya Markayla Character, honors. Micaiah Janae Futrell, honors. Kimani Michelle Gathers, honors. Micaiah Renee Gunn, honors. Shadon Lawrence Hamuel, honors. Yasmin Imani Hamlin, honors. Jalen William Hardaway, honors. Usiah Zakora Unique Jihae, honors. Zion Jenkins, honors. Crystal Jones, honors. Veronica LaBrenda Olivia Kelly, honors. Shania Monet Lassiter, honors. Shanae Lynn Lawrence, honors. Dominique Edward Pretlow Jr., honors. Jalen Rice, honors. Michaela Maria Ricks, honors. Alani Sanchez Santiago, honors. LaDon Monet Sellers, honors. Nautica Diamond Simpson, honors. Lexis Quashayla Thigpen, honors. Destiny Latrinae Timms, honors. Lauren Valoria, honors. Danae Michelle Louise White, honors. Alana Monet Wisby, honors. Emily Diana Zarilla, honors. Deja Tiana Dawn Alexander. Jordan Monye Ashley. Delaney Elizabeth Monet Baker. Ariana Niara Ballard. Tanya Alize Barnes. Angelique Olivia Boyd. Shatia Brown. Tashay Renee Carroll. Zakia Amari Chapman. Dion Clark. Kanique Isaiah Danley. Isaiah Tanasia Drawhorns. Jaheim LeVar Evans. Meadow Rain Farrell. Brittany Hope Bennett. Aaliyah Lene Ford. Trayana Avante Garrison. Aaliyah Montina Grant. Amani Nakia Griffith. Deontay Sincere Hill. Nayelis Lee Hill. Sydney Marie Brianna Jones. Makai Rashard Kelly. Jamila Elizabeth Middleton. Kara Victoria Perry Graves. Zakia Monet Rambert. Nevaeh Jacora Reynolds. Veronica Lynette Riddick. Eliza Robertson. Tamia Janae Robinson. Kendall Kavan Spruill. Kaylana Stewart. Nakira Michelle Warren. Jamel J. Williams. Graduating from the International Baccalaureate Academy, Kyla L'Oreal Allister, highest honors. Lauren Janae Allen, highest honors. Alexis Jasmine Alston, highest honors. Natalie Rebecca Bertrand, highest honors. Hannah Grace Beach, highest honors. Raven Michaela Crump, highest honors. Jada Elise Cunningham, highest honors. Keyshawn Shege Dabney, highest honors. Teresa Mintu Dang, highest honors. Zayed Amen El Sayed Farag, highest honors. Alyssa Maria Flores, highest honors. Jacob John Fortune, highest honors. Naziah Makai Hurd, highest honors. Jakaya Lachey Jackson, highest honors. Marie Claire Kasongo, highest honors. Shalia Antonique Lampkins, highest honors. Danielle Nikita McTeer, highest honors. Takaya Ikera Monrose Richardson, highest honors. Saray Malaysia Murray, highest honors. Kayla Gianna Preston, highest honors. Mohammed Maman Qasim, highest honors. Samantha Grace Reynolds, highest honors. Riley Nicole Phillips, honors. Shaza Ismaili Shahata, highest honors. Olivia Michelle Smith, highest honors. Matthew Zachary Van Horn, highest honors. Aaliyah Nicole Walker, highest honors. Christina Marie White, highest honors. Asar Sarah Williams, highest honors. Amari Nicole Wooten, highest honors. Miles Dakota Wright, highest honors. Vicky Zhang, highest honors. Talia Trista Marquez, honors. Marshall Game Willis, honors. Mason William Danner. Juliet Paige Nagora. Raymond Anthony Ramirez. Desiree Ashay Spratley. George Lee Whitaker. Graduating from the Maritime Academy, Kishara Ariel Caesar, highest honors. Taylor Renee Denton, highest honors. Liliana Sierra Jones, highest honors. Samia Imani McSwain, highest honors. Quinlan Sean Nemo, highest honors. Christian Figueroa Chavez, honors. Elijah Rashard Gatling, honors. Tashawn Marsh, honors. Jean Carlos Relat, honors. Aaliyah Kelly Thomas, honors. James Michael Abbott. Thomas Edward Acker III, Kyla Mina Arsby, Jeremiah Lamont Banks, Javon Simon Barnes, Anaya Lene Boone, Charlie Ramon Crawford, Jermaine Keith Crawford, Deontay Lamar Custis, Nasir Davis, Jalen Deshaun Dudley, Latanya Fox, Aaron Julius Freeman, Cameron Jabri Gilmore, Javian Jen, Shania Golden, Jalen Joseph Harding, Adam Alexander Hatcher, Aaron Xavier Howard Westbrook, Carrie Huff, Ronald Terrell Jenkins, Valerie Jefferson, Jordan William McCullough, Rashawn Marquise Moore, China Pankey, Kelly David Parker, Jamarion Parks, James A. Perry, Dewan Jameer Pettis, Caitlin Nicole Pierce, Akari Robb, Eduardo Rivera Orquidez, Antonio Alejandro San Inocencio, Cavante Scott, Kamari Lyman, Andre Smith, Sahara Stenbar, Antonio Leonel Tool Alvarado, Elijah Anthony Twitchell, Drayvon Tizell Whitehead, Edward Jamur Neal Jr. Edward's diploma is being presented posthumously to his aunt, Miss Pearline Parksdale. Seth Elisha Calhoun. Seth's diploma is being presented posthumously to his mother, Miss Shalonda Calhoun. Graduating from the Academy of Technology and Engineering, Alyssa Marie Adams, highest honors. Aluwa Palumi Victor Adepoju, highest honors. Joy Christine Allen, highest honors. Ahmad Ali, highest honors. Corey Dream Anderson, highest honors. Nusinia Sadaria Arrington, highest honors. Tanaya Isis Askew, highest honors. Raya Rochelle Bernhardt, highest honors. Jayante Nasir Bug, highest honors. David Caceres Caba, highest honors. Truth Lamar Combs II, highest honors. Lancelot Thomas Cook, highest honors. Josiah Ryan Cruz, highest honors. Kennedy Elise DeCosta, highest honors. Alicia Nazay Elamine, highest honors. Stephen Fields, highest honors. Dion Christian Hansley, highest honors. Wayne Hedgepeth, highest honors. Torian Jamal Irons, highest honors. Tanaya Karima Jewell, highest honors. Darian Bonet Lassiter, highest honors. Duajane Nija Martin, highest honors. Justice Nevea Martin Thomas, highest honors. Justice's diploma will be awarded by her father, Mr. Philip Thompson. Connor McMillan, highest honors. Christine Ugona Ogbono, highest honors. Elisha Osuna, highest honors. Corey Alexander Patton, highest honors. Alyssa Denise Pritchett, highest honors. Lester Jackson Richardson IV, highest honors. Matei Elizabeth Richardson, highest honors. Stephen Robinson, highest honors. Alana Shantae Sellers, highest honors. Nevaeh Alize Smith, highest honors. Tanaya Shakira Sturdivant, highest honors. Donald Lee Taylor, highest honors. Braylon Delon Woods, highest honors. Genevieve Zarwi, highest honors. Isan Maruf Albayadi, honors. Elena Manuela Arzola, honors. Jasmine Amaya Bradley, honors. Malik Sharif Brown, honors. LeBron Jerice Clay, honors. Zuri Jalen Claypool, honors. Kalia Soleil Clements, honors. Xavion Khalil Branch, highest honors. Nasir Jihad Cooper, honors. Antonio Amir Davis, honors. Tyler Roshan Denton, honors. Janaya Ann Dudley, honors. Tyrone Anthony Eaton Jr., honors. Jared Allen Dupree, honors. Keyshawn Edwards, honors. Xavier Alexander Ellington, honors. Zaria Chantel Elliott, honors. Joey Ellis Howard. Ebony Renee Fennell, honors. Tyson R.L. Franklin, honors. Naja Zanya Gilliam, honors. Julian Tyrone King, honors. Jonte Marquise Lomax, honors. Christopher Allen Lovings, honors. Kobe McGowan, honors. Sean Parker, honors. Stefan Xavier Robinson, honors. Sanaya Marie Scott, honors. Amara Ariana Smith, honors. Janaya Kamani Smith, honors. Ariana Alexis Taylor, honors. Jalen Trotter, honors. Dietrich Tyson, honors. Teddy Roy Watson III, honors. Jordan Andre Williams, honors. Julian Xavier Williams, honors. Jada Nicole Wright, honors. Tyler Scott Abbott. Elijah Logan Abercrombie. Maxwell John Barnett. Xavier David Barnett. Makai James Anthony Barrett. Dennis Elijah Lacoste Branch. Jaden Darius Brown. Brianna Alexis Ann Caraballo. Jayla Ajane Carey. Ashari Ariana Caesar. Micaiah Renee Charity. Isaiah Sincere Charles. Carlton Corley Clotty. Nedko Evanoff Coons. Christopher Sean Cross. David Cruz Jr. Kalani Deja Daniels, Artem Noah Dutton, Bryce William Glover, honors. Jarrell McNeil Griffin, honors. Irving Clifton Etheridge Jr., Kanori Dantre Fenerocha, Eliza Rashid Fulton, Kiara Marie Garner, Tyler Lamont Goodson, Stephen Grant Jr., Mauricio Heredia, Omar Irvin Hicks, Ryan Sean Holloway, Gabriel Horn, Amari Ray Howington, Sin-Q Ali Hunter, Amon Marcus Parker, Phoenix Dayton Trimmer, Emmanuel Zelvan Jones, Kimad Jones, Panero Ladon Jones, Andrew Darnell Mack, Josephine Mahoney, Ramori Melvin, Jaquan Omarion Meminger, Michael Monroe Jr., Leroya Nashella Nelson, Antonio Palmer, Cortavis Brown, Trenton Trayvon Kennedy, Robert Deshaun Parks Jr., Dallas Woodfin Patrick, Amar Dayon Patterson, Tyvon Jeremiah Patterson, Jataya Shawnee Pelham, Zion Nathaniel Pope, Ayana Monet Powell, Jason Deshaun Reeves, Quincy Lee Richardson, Joanne Robertson, Anaya Scott, Makai Saphir Scott, George Linwood Sorrell III, Simani Starr Taylor, Gabriel Villegas, Andrew Nehemiah Walker, Anthony Ware III, Willie Samuel Washington III, Nasir Dante Williams, Jaquez Antoine Woods, Connor Younger, Jason Lewis James, Jordan Lamont Jenkins, Javar Jaquan Nasir Johnson, Lachey Simone Johnson Jones, Damian Latroy Smith Jr., Patrick Maurice Smith, our student representative to the school board, Mr. Paul Diaz Karnak, highest honors. Our valedictorian for the graduating class of 2021, Katelyn Danielle Leone, highest honors. Our salutatorian for the graduating class of 2021, Abigail Elizabeth Ronsonet, highest honors. and our senior class president for the graduating class of 2021 from the Hampton High School, Miss Maia Jihae Patterson, highest honors.
Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2021. At this time, class president Maia Patterson will address the senior class for the last time.
My fellow seniors, please stand. When you arrived here tonight, you were students at Hampton High School. You wore your tassels on the right when you received your diplomas. Now you may move your tassels from the right to the left to signify that you are now graduates of the Hampton High School class of 2021. Home of the Crabbers and forever a part of the legacy of excellence. Congratulations, alumni.
Congratulations again, alumni. Please remain standing. At this time, we will enjoy the singing of the Hampton High School alma mater by senior Dion Hansley under the direction of Miss Wanda Mitchell. The alma mater can be found in your program. Audience, please join our graduates in standing for the alma mater. Thank you, Dion, for that beautiful tribute. Graduates, we encourage you to think about your talents and skills. Today we celebrate your achievements, but tomorrow you begin the next chapter. Take advantage of opportunities, rise to meet challenges, and never, ever give up. Never take life for granted. Make the most of everything you do and make every moment count. You are making history as the inaugural class of the academies of the Hampton High School and leaving us exuding the qualities of the portrait of a Hampton graduate. I have watched you grow as individuals, scholars, athletes, artists, and leaders. Thank you for the memories, for the laughs, the challenges, the successes, and for allowing me to be a part of your high school experience and your lives. As you go out into the world, remember that you carry with you the Crabber legacy. Use what you have learned and strive to create a lasting legacy of your very own. I love you all. Congratulations, and thank you for choosing the Hampton High School, where a legacy of excellence continues. Audience, we ask that you continue to stand and remain standing until our graduates have exited.